Tough series for the San Francisco Giants as they get swept by the LA Dodgers. Now sit 6.5 games out of first place in the NL West and just as far out in that race for the number 2 slot in the NL wild card. They're 6.5 games behind the Chicago Cubs for that spot. So San Francisco has a lot of work to do here. Going to get a 4-game series with the Colorado Rockies. It's game number 905, 906 on your rotation card. Ryan Vogelsong for the Giants and Chris Russin for the Colorado Rockies here. The lefty, San Francisco's faced lefties now 4 times, or this will be the 4th time in 5 days that they've seen a lefty. We've talked an awful lot about how well they've done against lefties overall this season. Certainly in that Dodgers series, they didn't fare as well as their numbers, overall season numbers indicate. Brett Anderson had a good night against them. San Francisco only hit 241 in that particular game. Of course, last night against Clayton Kershaw, 194 was the team batting average for the Giants, and they struck out 15 times. There is a difference, obviously, between elite left-handers and middle-of-the-road to below-average left-handers. And if you take a look through the Giants' logs, game logs against left-handed pitching, you're going to find that top-notch left-handers for the better part of the last couple of months have stymied San Francisco. I think there was one instance where they really racked Cole Hamels. However, most of the top-notch lefties that they've seen have sort of quieted the bats, but these mid-rung, below-average arms that come from the left-hand side are the ones that San Francisco has tended to dominate. Here, Chris Russin starts for the Rockies, and his numbers, obviously, no matter how you slice them, whether you go through his last 5 starts or overall numbers, they're really skewed by one game in particular, and that was a couple of starts ago against the New York Mets, August 22nd, where he only lasted 2 innings, gave up 12 hits and 11 earned runs. 2 walks added to that means 14 base runners in 2 innings. Those will skew anybody's stats. Look at the work around that game, and you find his most recent start was a 6-inning performance against the Pittsburgh Pirates, where he only allowed 5 hits and 3 earned runs. Did put 8 runners on base in that game if you include the 3 walks. But before the start against the Mets, complete game shutout of the San Diego Padres. Certainly not your best offense in the world. However, that's nice. A nice start for a young arm. 9 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs in that game. I think what's even better about that is that start came right here in Coors Field. Prior to that, he had thrown against the Mets and Matt Harvey, went 6 innings, 8 hits, only 1 earned run. So you can see that Russin surrounding that one poor start are 3 really good starts. We'll have to see which way he comes up here against the San Francisco Giants. The Giants obviously in dire need of victories right now. This isn't a great place for Ryan Vogelsong to start a game in Coors Field. The Rockies lineup showed you again last night that they can be very explosive. That grand slam by Carlos Gonzalez really blew that game open against the Arizona Diamondbacks last night. San Francisco's Vogelsong has had one opportunity to throw here this year. It was back on May 22nd against Kyle Kendrick. And in that game, surprisingly enough, Vogelsong threw 6 shutout innings, only allowed 2 hits, 3 walks, struck out 5 in that game. So Vogelsong had a very nice effort here in Colorado. However, Ryan Vogelsong's last 7 starts, let's go ahead and give him the 1 out of the 7 that was outstanding. It came on the 18th of August, just 3 starts ago, against the St. Louis Cardinals. He went 6 innings, 2-hit shutout ball. Otherwise, Ryan Vogelsong has not made it through 6 innings in the other 6 games. Overall, even if I put the St. Louis game and include it into his last 7 starts, you're talking about a pitcher right now with a 4.41 ERA, 1.59 whip over his last 7. The larger number, though, and the bigger concern, 18.8 pitches per inning. None of these starts over the last 7, even the good one against St. Louis, indicate easy innings for Ryan Vogelsong. If you go over his pitch per inning count in his last 7, you see 20.1, 23.1, 16.8 in the St. Louis game, almost 17 pitches per inning. That's a high number. Even though he fared well in that game, he did have to come out after 6 because he had already thrown 101 pitches. Before that, 18.8, 20.5, 16.75 against the Phils, and then 17.7 the start before that. So you can see it's been a bit of a struggle for Ryan Vogelsong. The struggle comes in the form of walks. He's walked 19 batters in his last 32 and 2/3 innings. Combine that with the 33 hits he's allowed, and you see 52 base runners in 32 and 2/3. In a place like Coors Field, that could be very dangerous. However, the counter to that would be the fact that he threw well here in Coors once already. The Giants really need this game. This is important to them. The starting pitching matchup is what it is. Neither guy is a standout pitcher at this point in time, but I think that the work done by Russin around that New York Mets abysmal outing does deserve a little bit of recognition. We see the price tag here, though, opening San Francisco and Vogelsong minus 135 and being bet down to the Giants minus 125 as we speak. 10-cent move on the Colorado Rockies. Total here opened 11.5 under 20, sits in that vicinity. You see mostly 11.5 under minus 115 right now, so slight nickel move toward the under here. It's like I said, it's a tough game to handicap because you expect the Giants to come out in this 4-game set. They're the better team. There's no question about it. They have a huge edge in bullpen arms. So late in a game, you would expect San Francisco to be able to outduel the Colorado Rockies. But you have to calm that offense down early. We'll see if Vogelsong can do it. The Giants need wins here. No question about it. They look out to the West Coast and see that the Dodgers have the Padres for a 4-game series. They're obviously going to be scoreboard watching. This, to me, looks like a bit of a cheap price on the Giants here. I'm almost willing to step in and lay the $1.25 with San Francisco. Haven't done it yet. May do it later on. We'll see if the bettors push this game any lower. San Francisco's road offense and their offense, like I said earlier, against average left-handed arms, I think could get them enough runs here in Coors to support Vogelsong, and then the pen can do the rest. We'll have to see. Like I said, I haven't made a play on it yet, but it's very possible I could get involved with San Francisco later on today.